there. I want to know from your experience, do you think women pair bond less with men that make them come after they've had a lot of bodies compared to the girls you've met with lower body counts? Do you think that basically like those girls have, 30, 40, the porn stars that you've met, do you feel like if you make them come, like you're still building a pair bonding experience because you're making them orgasm with you, or do you think that after so many bodies they're not having that same feeling?
It does when you, as from my experience being on set with porn stars and working with porn stars, you will definitely get an equivalent of a pair bond if you can get her off and make her come an orgasm. You have great sexual chemistry. She will definitely want to see you again and hang out, and you'll become friends and you'll shoot content and stuff like that. 100% that's the case. Okay. That would be an equivalent of a pair bond. However, is significantly diminished compared to the women I've been with who
have a
very, very small body count, right? Okay. They're going to attach to you and try to do around a lot more aggressively than a woman with a giant body count.
And that's something I've never experienced, really. I can't really tell. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
That's just my experience, and it's a lot of women find it a bit offensive when you talk these
body
things.
Count, yeah.
We talk about in those terms, but it comes down to pair bonding, really.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And that's what.
And if you want, the marriage happiness statistic, like obviously it goes down after 6 bodies, after 10, 20,
Right. I don't think necessarily, and I had this conversation with Roller the other day on Sartain's podcast, and it was like, and for me, it's probably not necessarily the numbers that matter so much, but more as the kind of men that she was with in the past.
If she was alphas.
Yeah, if she was with like 30 complete losers and then you come along as a complete giga chad.
Yeah.
She ain't like she's going to forget. She's forgetting about them in a second.
Yeah.
Right? She could have been with like 2 dudes and one was like an AFL quarterback.
Yeah.
NFL quarterback. Yeah. Right? Good luck.
Yeah.
So like there's nuance to this stuff, which a lot of guys tend to just gloss over and they try to look at this stuff and like to try to as black and white and simple as they possibly
can
get.
There's too many categories. There's height, there's dick size, there's the way I see it, there's just too many categories. Like the thing is, she might have fucked with the NFL guy and he was 5 inches, 6 inches taller than you, but what if your dick's bigger? I mean, she might like the dick more.
Maybe she's a size queen.
Yeah, you never know. That's something I've been discovering a lot on the show because we like to ask the girls what size they want. Man, there are a lot of sizes. I feel, but we only have single girls on usually, so it's like, well, now I know why you're single, lady. It's because you're looking for something that's harder to find.
Let's ask that question again tonight, because here's the way to ask. Because women have no fucking clue what 6 inches looks like.
You're right.
8 inches versus 10. They've got no fucking clue.
You're so
every
right.
guy does. I guarantee every guy knows because he's got a personal ruler in his pants, right?
Yeah.
So the best way to ask a girl that question is to make her do it with her hands. Be like show me hands, like how big it is, right?
I'm gonna have to ask every episode like that now. I did not even think about.
It's a better way to ask it.
Because they really don't know what the fucking size is.
And the second thing I'll add to that is women and men have a very different perspective on like when you talk about size of a penis. Dudes think length. Women typically think girth.
Yeah,
totally different because from their perspective, they're feeling the girth. It's a feeling of being filled up for them, right?
Yep.
Totally, like they don't really feel the length unless it's hitting their cervix, and it's really long, and it's like pounding their cervix out.
Very true.
That's a total perspective. But dudes sort of get obsessed about like the length thing.
It's not a big deal.
Totally different.
I actually learned that years ago when I was listening to our radio here in Dallas. I think it was like 106 or something. They were like asking a bunch of girls that question. Almost, I would say 90% of the women said girth that they wanted, and I was like, wow, it was a life-changing moment for me. But yeah, they're definitely fucking true.
I mean, that was my experience in the like. I'm not a very long guy, and I was in the porn industry for like professionally for like 5 years, right? But I am relatively girthy.
That's all that matters.
And I would always get referred as like when other girls would talk about me to another female talent, they would say I was big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just fucked a dude with a 12-inch cock.
I'm not big compared
How
to
the fuck am I big compared to this guy? But it was purely after hearing that long enough, I was like, oh fuck, it's the girth thing.
Man, that's crazy, guys. You just need to get those shots where it makes you more. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that what some? That's a porn star thing too, right? Sometimes they like do the shots right before a show.
I don't know anyone who ever did one before a scene. There's like a surgery you can get where it's like they take fat
Yeah.
and they'll inject your own fat into your cock to make it like girthier.
Girthier.
I knew a guy back in Australia. He was a porn star back in Australia. This dude had like a 9-inch long cock, and I'm like, bro, you're fine. And he got paranoid. He
didn't want to have a stick.
He was self-conscious that his dick wasn't thick enough. I'm like, motherfucker, you're packing a tool that could club a baby seal, and you're being paranoid. Like every dude is self-conscious.
Dude, that's crazy.
Every dude is self-conscious.
No, and I truly believe that. Like honestly, I'm in a really good position. I'm still self-conscious, and there's no reason to be. It's like I think, like you said, every guy is conscious because there's so much porn, there's so much shit that you look at on the internet. There's so many reasons to be insecure. Like I think the internet fucked everything up. So this next one with that. Is it the iPad generation or older generation having more trouble with pornography? You think? I call it iPad generation the 25 and unders. Like, do you think that like they're having way more trouble with pornography than like the 25 and up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm very great. How old are you?
I'm 31.
So you were born before the iPhone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got my first iPhone when I was 18 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
I am very, very grateful that I was born before the iPhone.
Mm.
I think everyone on this planet who was born before the iPhone has a massive advantage in life, and a large part of that is their attention span.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm learning on the show. Like, it's like some of the people that are 30 plus, they're kind of based, but the girls that are 25 and under are living in a completely different world from everybody else.
And
like,
the guys are all depressed.
Yeah. All the guys I feel bad for. It's just like I'm constantly trying to help them, but it's just like help yourself type of thing, as you know. You know. Will you get into a relationship, and if so, at what time would you like to have kids?
I'm trying to have kids this year.
This year?
Yeah.
And are you gonna do like I remember Tate said in one of his videos, like, you should have a woman in different countries and have kids in different countries because it's safer, and you just go visit them every once in a while type of thing, or would you want to be more home around them more?
I have a similar view to Andrew on this topic. In the case of like, okay, I'll have like, you know, maybe one, maybe two, maybe three, maybe a few baby mamas or whatever. I'm not going to abandon my kids. I'm going to look after them, obviously. I'm going to provide for them financially, and I'm going to spend time with them. But I would agree with Andrew and Tristan on this, that you don't need to be around them
all the time,
especially when they're baby.
Yeah,
I think a baby is a job for a woman.
Yeah,
and once that child is, you know, able to speak and start to absorb information and learn, especially learn through osmosis, and then, you know, through you actually conveying ideas to them, that's dad's time to step up and really take control.
I honestly completely agree. I didn't have my daughter 50-50 until about 2.5 years or something, but that's whenever it got really fun, I guess you could say, as a parent.
Dude, I've heard I've had a couple of friends who've had a baby this year, and what they all the fathers have sort of told me, I'm like, you ask them, like, honestly, with no women around, what's it like having a kid? And they're like, man, babies are boring. That's what they all tell me.
Yeah. No, it's really easy. Like, I actually went viral on my very first clip on my very first episode, and it was because I was arguing with a girl over how hard it is to watch kids. And, like, it's crazy how easy it is to me. Like, I have 50-50 with my BM, and I love watching my daughter the whole time. It's nothing to me. Like, it's natural.
Right.
It's extremely natural. We've been doing it for hundreds of thousands of years, guys. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Do you feel like you want to have more kids?
Course, yeah, but it's more of a financial thing. Everything is financial.
Right.
But yeah, I would love to be in an extremely good financial position. A big problem today is step parenting. A lot of people don't know how to be co-parents. And I grew up in a perfectly divorced family. My parents divorced when I was like 5 or 6. My parents both immediately remarried to really good people. One had a very traditional conservative. Like, my mom and my stepdad were very traditionally conservative, and my dad went and had like a awesome partner. They went and bought a lot of property. Like, they're very successful because they took like the hustle route, whereas like my mom and my stepdad took like the traditionally conservative route. And I don't know, like from them co-parent, they had a horrible co-parenting situation, but it taught me how to co-parent better. So like I feel like I'm very good about it. I would never. I'm not insecure at all about my fathering. And I think that's the big issue, is a lot of guys are insecure about their fathering. So then that's why they argue with other men and stuff. But I think co-parenting is huge over the next 10, 20 years, because think about how many single mothers there are. There's going to be a lot of beta guys that just kind of have to choose those women. And just going to kind of happen. So you got to learn how to like play ball with that. Like, the alphas are going to have to learn to play balls with the betas that are getting with their exes and
Do you
stuff.
really think,
it's weird.
I think because the red pill and stuff is going more mainstream, I think there's going to be a lot more dudes who aren't even going to accept that option.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree with you completely. But there's always going to be beta guys. Like, there's always the guys that are too short, or they're just there's something wrong with them. So like, there's never going to be there's always going to be a surplus of women that are single moms, and I feel like there's always going to be a surplus of beta dudes. They're out there, but that's one of the things I teach a lot on the show, is like, because a lot of single moms come on, and it's just like I just need to settle for the beta guy, like the beta provider. Like it sucks, but like that guy's gonna actually give you a good life. Like I love my stepfather a lot. He would maybe come up to the studio tonight. He's a really good guy, and he's actually more my daddy than my actual father was sometimes. So it's like it's really hard for me to argue against a lot of those stance. I love Brolo, I love Red Pill and everything like that, but I really like a good stepfather that does step up sometimes. I'm very torn apart on that one topic, I guess you could say.
To me, it blows my mind sometimes, right? When I I'll watch your show or other shows, right, and I'll see how like the standards that a single mother will put on a partner. I am truly blown away.
It's sad
at how like restrictive they can be when choosing their partner. Like you realize you're on the back foot here, right? You're in a bad negotiating position, or at least we would think she is.
Yeah.
But like you just said, there is an abundance of blue pilled who are running around who will happily step up. And no, not trying to be offensive to your stepdad or anything, but that they'll take that position because they can't really get any. Their options are so limited.
Yes.
Right.
No, I completely I understand both sides of it. Like I just kind of understand the guys that have no other options, but they still want to have a relationship or they still want to have a family in some way, shape, or form. And to me, it's weird because I want my DNA to go on and I want to have more kids, but at the same time, like I don't know, I try to be that's the biggest thing I try to teach on this show is be understanding, because if you ever go to relationship counselors or anything, like the number one thing they teach is be understanding of your partner. So that's the big thing I teach on this channel is just be understanding of people and your partners and shit. I want to know now, are women that use vibrators a red flag to you? Do you think that's an instant like, oh shit, like she's in pornography or she's into pleasing herself too much? This might be a bad thing in a relationship. What do you think?
No, I don't think it's bad at all. If I'm being honest, look, it could mean one of two things, right? So if she uses a lot of vibrators, well, first of all, I'll say if she uses like super high powered ones,
like the one you're talking about,
like a Hitachi or something like that, man, like ladies, stop using that.
Yeah.
It's terrible. You're destroying your clitoris. It's making it way harder for you to get off with any dude, because no dude's tongue or penis is going to be able to produce like a jackhammer type rhythm. Stop. I don't care how fit the guy is. You can't match that, right? So that's first thing. But second of all, do I think it's a red flag? No. Now here's a couple of reasons why. So it could mean she's like a hypersexual girl. Fine. Could mean she's so hypersexual that maybe she does sleep around a lot, and she also just uses vibrators whenever she just is bored. Mm-hmm. That's one possibility. The ability is that she's the kind of girl who actually might save herself and not sleep around, and as such, she'll appease her sexual desires using a vibrator instead.
She could be a green flag in that way.
It could be a green flag in that way. So it really doesn't. I don't think there's a very black and white take on whether or not a woman uses vibrators and stuff. And also, I will say that women who masturbate more, or maybe again not using these super high-powered vibrators, but girls who masturbate frequently it's much easier for them to climax during sex because they're far more aware of their own orgasm and what gets them to orgasm and approaching it, what it feels like. They're easier, but they're much better equipped to kind of communicate with their partner, like, oh, slower, faster, harder, softer, whatever. Like, yes, no, do more of that.
That's right? Another possible green flag for a relationship. Possible because you're able to communicate better. Yeah. And I think that's a huge issue is like the sex sucks because nobody knows how to communicate with each other sexually.
And communication in terms of in the bedroom is an interesting thing because I'll say as a professional who's worked on like BDSM shoots, right, where you have to go over a big checklist of yes, you can do this, you can't do this to me, you can't do this to me, right? Mm-hmm. These are my safe words. You can call me these names, you can't call me these names, right?
Yeah.
We go over, especially for BDSM shoots, we go over basically every single possibility of,
safe word
of what you could do to your partner during that sex act, and nothing kills sexual tension more than going through a checklist, mm-hmm. right? So I'm of the opinion that when it comes to like communication in the bedroom, I think that if you want to communicate, your desires and stuff about what you want in the bedroom, it should be done outside of the bedroom, before like totally out of the context of we're about to have sex.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's going to totally destroy the sexual tension.
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe she'd mention something in passing when you're out having dinner or having a drink or whatever. Oh, I like XYZ thing. It's in passing. Cool. Mm-hmm. And then the next time you see her, if things get kinky, you remembered it.
You don't bring up analytics right before having sex.
Yeah. And I think and I see this a lot with especially with women, and anytime I've ever talked to like a female star about, okay, how can guys be good in bedroom? They always say communication. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not entirely true, because if he sat down with it in front of you and communicated everything, your pussy would dry up.
Yes.
So that's complete bullshit. So what I think a lot of women are trying to say, and I'm a woman being a misogynist.
Yeah.
I think what they're trying to say in that context is read my body language.
Yeah.
Right. That's what communicate women mostly mean when they say communication, right?
Or talk about it way before.
Right. So every woman's like, oh, people's men are better communicators than men.
No.
Well, then why the hell can't men, like, why the hell are women's like signals so blasé,
subliminal,
super subliminal, and just pure body language? No woman ever goes up and says, hey, I think you're cute. Can you ask me on a date? No woman talks like overtly like that. That's actual. Men are actually way better communicators than women are,
because we're overt. Better. Yeah,
because we're overt, right? So women want to be communicated subvertly.
Yeah.
So that means body language. So what they really mean when they say, I want a man who is under communicates in the bedroom, what she really means is, I want a guy who can read my body language and can tell when I'm uncomfortable or when I'm willing to go a bit further.
Yeah.
And stop.
This makes me I instantly think about how there's so many guys that haven't even, got laid yet, or they're still virgin, whatever. And that's why they keep losing to these guys that just have an ounce of experience, because God, they're going to miss every one of those cues you're talking about, every single one of them.
It's a winner takes all
scenario. Yes. No, and I've just been realizing this a lot. Like, we've been going to the club a lot lately, and just I know a lot of the guys in Dallas that have difficulty getting girls, and I see how much pre-selection helps me sometimes. It's just this is crazy how big of a difference we are emotionally, how we think, how we talk, and everything. It's like I said, why I tell you to go out as much as possible. Let me read that one super chat, bro. Is there two of them? I want to keep up with them. We got one from Rudy Matos, $10. Purplepill takeover. Cooper, your tier lists are legendary.
Thank you very much.
What'd you do a tier list on? I think I saw that. What'd you do a tier list? On the porn stars,
yeah,
right?
I did a couple of tier lists.
I did watch those videos. They were really good. I watched them a long time ago. Yeah, because you came out with those a while back.
Yeah.
200 that's Kenya dollars from LDU Lifestyle. What's up, bro? We all the way up, PPP to the moon. Yeah, thank you so much for the edits and everything, bro. I appreciate you, man. Now with my next question, I had are there other red flags of the bedroom that would tell you a girl isn't relationship material? Like something that she does that you're instantly like, you know what, this is not the girl that I would want to take home to my mom or be in a relationship with.
I mean, this is definitely a personal preference, and it's not going to sound really, really nice, but any woman who has signs of having had a past traumatic sexual experience, I would unfortunately view that as a red flag.
Abuse or anything.
Yeah, basically. And the way you would tell that is through her body language. Again, communication, right? Through her being able to read her body language, right? If you start, I mean, obviously, I always teach guys, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Like, there's a difference between a green light, an orange light, and a red light.
True. Yeah.
Right? Knowing when it's totally green, knowing when it's like she might want you to press a little bit further. You're not entirely sure. You go with caution, and then there's complete red lights, right? Mm. And sometimes you'll be in bed with a woman, and you'll see that she is very okay. As an example, if a girl likes to be choked sexually, consensually in the bedroom, right? If I might start by putting my hand just on her collarbone like this, right? Gauging for her body language.
Yeah.
If she has my hand and shoves it into her throat, that's probably a green light that she wants me to choke her, right? That I've had that happen numerous times before. So they get the idea. However, if I put my hand, place it there, and she suddenly gets tense, okay, that is a complete red light.
Yes.
That tells me this woman has had that to me, as someone with experience, that tells me this woman has had a traumatic experience where someone has abused her.
Yes.
If by just placing my hand here, she gets tense and nervous and scared, that's a big, I'm obviously going to back off and not do that at all, right? But that does tell me that she's probably had this past traumatic experience. And so for me personally, that would be a big red flag. Do not want to have to. It's not. I don't see. It's not. Again, this sounds bad, but it's not my job to unpack her baggage.
Yes. And
to really help her through the trauma. I would much rather find a girl who doesn't have that baggage, and who we can build a healthy sexual experience together from scratch.